money that stirs something up. You know, what we talked about in chapter 19 where they were getting rid of their idols, and some of those silversmiths were making their profit through building those idols. They didn't believe in them, but hey, if it sells, it sells. And that's what they were doing. That's how they were making their money. And when they started destroying them, then they got together and a riot started. It seems like everywhere Jesus is preached, it was causing strife. We read that through the book of Acts, that everywhere Paul went and taught and preached, there was always strife. And it was always offending people. But in between the persecution, people were getting saved. I don't want you to forget about that. In between all that, there was actually some people getting saved. In some of those cities, there was more people than not getting saved. So let's not forget that. The Bible tells us that the word of God does not come back void. So you just go and preach, and if some receive, they receive. If some don't, they don't. But you keep ministering the word of God. You keep going. At the prisons, we don't always get the response that we want to get. There's certain guys that just look at you crazy, and you know, on the way out, it's those same guys that say, hey man, thank you for coming. And that's all they say. And they're looking at you, mean mugging you the whole time you're walking by them, and they're sweeping and you're stepping over the places that they're mopping, and they're just looking at you crazy. But on the way out, they're like, hey man, thank you for coming. Thank you for not forgetting about us. And I was like, wow. So the word of God does not go void. You just keep ministering. So by this time, Paul is in his third missionary journey. And the first two, he went to places he had never been before, preaching the gospel and planting churches. On his third journey, he went back to the churches he actually planted. So throughout the books of Acts, Paul goes through 3 journeys, and the first 2, he's planting churches. He goes to these cities, and he's actually planting churches. And as the third time he comes back around, he's actually visiting those churches that he's planting. Why did he go back? Why did he go back and visit? Well, he went back to disciple. He went back to encourage. See, church, it isn't enough just to lead people to Christ. We also have to disciple. We have to walk with them, strengthen them, and build them up. See, many times, we see people come to the altar and we lead them through the sinner's prayer.